Thoth, the scribe of the gods, left not a map but a sound, a single sound capable of dismantling your reality. I won't tell you his secret now. First, I will prove to you that your perception of reality is an illusion. Close your eyes for a moment. Think of your body lying in bed last night, completely still. Now, remember a dream you had. In that dream, you had a body. You could see, hear, and feel emotions. Where was your physical body? It wasn't necessary. There you go. You've just proven to yourself that your consciousness doesn't depend on your body. That's the first key. You've already received the first delivery, proof that you are more than flesh and blood. Now, I'm going to show you the 3 portals you cross every day without realizing it, and reveal how the system has trained you to ignore 2 of them, keeping you trapped only in physical reality. Later, I will give you the exact practice to consciously navigate these portals. And when your mind is ready to not sabotage the process, I will reveal how the structure of the OM sound is in fact the instruction manual of the universe. If you feel you are ready to decipher this code, comment. The key is in the sound. Let's begin. That which is in the power of your mind is in the power of your reality. The reason this sound is so dangerous is because it doesn't function like other words. A word like house or car merely points to an object. It's a symbol, a label. But the sound Om is different. It doesn't point to reality. It is reality itself in the form of vibration. Ancient sages said that if you truly understood this single syllable, you could burn down all the libraries in the world, for all the knowledge of the universe is contained within it. It is the source code of existence, the original blueprint of all that was, is, and will be. To crack this code, we need to look at its structure. The sound Om is actually a sequence of 3 vibrations, A, U, and M. But don't think of them as letters of an alphabet. Think of them as keys, or rather as portals. Each of these vibrations opens a door to a different dimension of your own existence. 3 realities that you visit every day, but without ever realizing the depth of what is happening. You live in these 3 dimensions, but remain conscious in only one of them. Together, these 3 vibrations form a complete cycle. The A represents creation, the beginning of everything. The U represents maintenance, the continuation of existence. And the M represents dissolution, the return to the source. It is the life cycle of the universe and the life cycle of your own consciousness happening every second. It's a perfect map showing how everything emerges from the invisible, becomes visible, and then returns to the invisible. The promise here is enormous. If you understand the journey through these 3 portals, you understand how everything works. But how is it possible for a sound to contain the entire timeline? How can it hold the past, present, and future in a single instant? The answer isn't philosophical, it's practical. The answer lies in your own daily experience. Each of these sounds corresponds to a state of consciousness that you already know very well: wakefulness, dreaming, and deep sleep. You believe these are just different states of your day, but in reality, they are entire universes. Most people live and die without ever understanding the connection between these 3 worlds. They believe that the only reality is the one they can see and touch when they are awake. But this is the first and greatest trap. This belief is what keeps you trapped, preventing you from accessing the other 99% of your existence. The system was designed so that you identify only with the physical world, so that you never discover the power that resides in the other dimensions of your being. The key to unlocking all of this lies in analyzing the first portal, the state you are in right now. It is the place where illusion is strongest, where the prison is most convincing. It is the world of matter, of your five senses, and it is precisely here that we need to begin dismantling your perception of reality, piece by piece, so that you can finally see what lies behind the curtain. The first portal, the reality that holds you captive. Now let's enter the first portal. The first vibration, A, which sounds like an open and deep ah, corresponds to the waking state. It is the reality you are experiencing at this very moment. The world you see with your eyes, the sounds you hear, the ground beneath your feet. It is the realm of your physical body, your name, your profession, your bank account. This is where your consciousness is completely outward focused, interacting with objects, people, and situations. This is where you feel most like you, and that is precisely why this portal is a trap. We have been conditioned to believe that this is the only reality that matters, that the material, concrete, and solid world is the basis of everything. But ancient wisdom, the message of Thoth, warns us that this is only the surface, the first layer of a much deeper reality. Here, in the waking state, the ego is in control. It creates a constant feeling of separation. There is I and there is everything else. I want that, I need that, I am afraid of that. This total identification with the physical world and with the ego's identity is a form of mass hypnosis. It's a program that runs in the background, keeping us asleep to our true nature. You believe you are your body, your thoughts, your possessions. But this is like an actor who forgets he's on a stage and begins to believe he is the character he's playing. The A vibration invites us to awaken within the dream, to begin questioning the solidity of what seems so real. Think about it. You spend about a third of your life in other states of consciousness, but you dismiss them as irrelevant. Why? Because the system has taught you to value only what is productive, what can be measured, and what can be controlled in the physical world. The waking state is the realm of work, consumption, and worry. Keeping your attention fixed here is the most effective way to ensure you continue running on the rat wheel, always seeking happiness outside, where it can never be found. The shocking truth is that this state of consciousness, with all its intensity, noise, and drama, is only a fraction of your total existence. It's like watching a single television channel and believing that nothing else exists. You are so focused on the screen that you've forgotten there's a remote control and thousands of other channels available. You are not the program playing on TV, you are the one watching. But you've identified so much with the plot that you've forgotten who you really are. And here's the question that begins to break the spell. If the waking state is only one of the three worlds you inhabit, what happens to you when this world disappears? Every night you turn off the TV, the waking scene fades, your body becomes still, and yet you continue to exist. You enter a new realm, with new rules and a new body, a realm that proves you are not who you think you are. The second portal, where you exist without your body. When you close your eyes to the waking world, you don't cease to exist. You simply cross an invisible threshold and enter the second portal. This is the realm of the U vibration, which sounds like ooh, and corresponds to the dream state. Now, stop and think about what really happens here, because most people never stop to analyze it. Your physical body, the one you believe to be you, is lying in bed, completely paralyzed and forgotten. And yet, you are fully conscious. In your dreams, you have a body. A dream body that can fly, pass through walls, or transform. You live adventures, feel emotions that are as real as those in waking life, perhaps even more intense. You feel fear, joy, love, anger. You interact with people, some familiar, others complete strangers, in places that may be familiar or totally fantastical. Your mind is fully active, not only remembering but creating entire universes with impressive speed and freedom. This nocturnal experience, which our materialistic society dismisses as mere fantasy or neural garbage, is in fact irrefutable proof of something profound. Your existence and your consciousness are in no way trapped or limited by your physical body. In dreams, you are pure consciousness operating through a mind, creating and experiencing parallel realities without any help from your flesh and blood shell. You don't need your physical eyes to see, nor your physical ears to hear. This revelation in itself should be enough to shake the foundations of everything you believe about yourself. If you can have a complete life experience with a body, a universe, and interactions, all while your physical body is completely inactive, then who are you? The you who dreams is the same you who is reading this now. The consciousness is the same. What changes is only the vehicle and the environment. This proves that you are not the vehicle, but rather the driver. The realm of dreams, the state of swapna, as it is called in ancient texts, reveals that we are creators of worlds. Each night, you wield a power of creation that, if used consciously, would transform your waking life. But the system has taught you to ignore this power, to see dreams as something unimportant. Why? Because if you realized that you can create realities with your mind while you sleep, you might begin to wonder if you aren't doing the same thing while you're awake. And this is the question that takes us even deeper into the mystery. If you are not your physical body because it is left behind in the world of dreams, then perhaps you are also not your mind, which creates these nocturnal fantasies. To find the ultimate answer about your true identity, we need to go beyond dreams, to a place that most people fear more than death itself. A place of total darkness where even the mind seems to disappear. The third portal, the void, where the self disappears. The journey now takes us to the deepest and most mysterious territory of human consciousness. After the waking world and the realm of dreams, we plunge into the third portal, symbolized by the resonant vibration M or This is the state of deep, dreamless sleep. Think about your experience of this state. It is an abyss of apparent nothingness. There are no images, no sounds, no thoughts, no world. Your body is completely switched off, your mind has dissolved, and even your constant sense of being a self, your ego, disappears. To the waking mind, clinging to forms and thoughts, this state seems like annihilation. It is a void, a total darkness. A brief rehearsal of death each night. And it is precisely in this void that the best-kept secret of existence is revealed. Upon waking from a deep sleep, you often say something like, "Wow, I passed out," or "I slept like a log. I didn't see anything." This simple phrase, which you say without thinking, contains an explosive truth that most people never realize. When you say I knew nothing, who is this I that was there to witness the absence of everything? To know that there was nothing, a consciousness needed to be present. You did not cease to exist. On the contrary, you existed in your purest form, free from body, mind, and ego. There was a continuity of your existence, even in total darkness. You simply returned to your original condition, before any identity or personal history was projected onto you. In this state, called sushupti, you are not a father, mother, Brazilian, American, rich or poor. You have no profession, no past, and no future. All the worries, fears, pains, and joys that torment you during the day simply vanish. It is a return to the source, a dive into the ocean of pure consciousness from which the worlds of wakefulness and dreams emerge like waves. It is a state of pure potentiality, a complete reset of the system each night. This daily plunge into emptiness is the reason you are able to continue living. It is what recharges your vital energy. You don't rest simply because your body relaxes. You rest because your consciousness returns to its limitless source. However, the mind fears this state because it represents a loss of control. The ego sees it as death because in deep sleep it does not exist. And that is why modern society, obsessed with the ego, never talks about the importance and power of this state. And so, this plunge into the abyss forces us to confront the fundamental question, the question that dismantles all illusion. If you are not your physical body, for it disappears in dreams. If you are not your mind, for it dissolves in deep sleep. And if you are not your ego, for it too fades into darkness. Then who or what is this silent and unchanging presence that remains when everything else is gone? The answer to this is not a state, but the very foundation of everything. The answer to this question is not in any of the three portals. A, U, and M are merely experiences that come and go. The true answer lies in what remains constant throughout them all. It lies in the silence that envelops the sound of OM, a silence that is not empty but full of potential. This is Turiya, the fourth state. It is not a state you attain like wakefulness or sleep. It is consciousness itself, the foundation upon which all other states are projected. It is what you truly are. Think of your consciousness as a movie screen. The waking state is an action movie full of drama and events. The dream state is a fantasy film with special effects and surreal plots. The state of deep sleep is when the projector is turned off and the screen goes dark. Movies change, begin and end, but the screen always remains the same, untouched and immutable. You are not the movie. You are the screen. You are the consciousness that illuminates all your experiences. This is the central truth that Thoth and all the great masters have tried to communicate. You are not the body that was born and will one day die. You are not the mind that is full of constant thoughts and worries. You are not the ego, that fragile identity built from memories and conditioning. You are the eternal consciousness, without birth and without death, that witnesses the passage of all these phenomena. You are the silent observer behind the eyes. Realizing this is the greatest liberation possible. It means you were never truly in danger. What happens to the body, mind, or ego cannot touch you, just as fire on a movie screen cannot burn the real screen. The search for happiness ends because you discover that bliss is not something to be achieved, but your own nature. Peace is not something to be built, but the foundation of your existence. You stop searching outside and recognize the treasure that has always been within. But knowing this merely in your mind as an interesting theory doesn't change your life. It's like reading a restaurant menu. It doesn't satisfy your hunger. The big question, the real challenge, is how to live from this truth. How to remain like the screen while the chaotic film of everyday life is being projected onto you. How to access and stabilize yourself in this state of witness while you're stuck in traffic, in a work meeting, or in a family argument. The answer to this is not to flee the world, but to find the bridge between knowledge and experience. And this bridge was built millennia ago. A wisdom that traveled from Egypt to Greece, kept secret by those who understood its transformative power. It is the key that connects the invisible world of consciousness with the visible world of matter. The key that Thoth, under another name, gave to humanity. The key of Thoth and Hermes. The forbidden knowledge. This truth about the nature of consciousness was not confined to the banks of the Nile or the Ganges. It traveled across deserts and oceans, in caravans and ships, and found a perfect mirror in the wisdom of ancient Greece. The Egyptian god Thoth, the master of writing, magic, and knowledge, was recognized by the Greeks as an identical figure, Hermes Trismegistus, meaning Hermes the thrice great. He became the guardian of a body of knowledge so profound and powerful that it was kept secret, known as the Hermetic tradition. This knowledge was considered too dangerous for the masses. Ancient sages, both in Egypt and India, knew that if this wisdom fell into unprepared hands, it could be misinterpreted, distorted, or used for selfish purposes. Therefore, they codified it. They hid it in plain sight, using symbols, myths, allegories, and sacred sounds such as Om itself. Only those who were genuinely seeking the truth, the initiates, would have the keys to decipher its true meaning. The most famous principle of the Hermetic tradition, inscribed on the legendary emerald tablet, states, "As above, so below. As within, so without." This phrase is an exact echo of what we have discovered about states of consciousness. It affirms that your inner world, your consciousness, your thoughts, your beliefs, creates your outer world, your reality, your experiences, your life. The universe doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. Your reality is a mirror of your state of being. That's the promise of the title. When you understand OM, you understand the structure of your own consciousness. And when you understand the structure of your consciousness, you realize that it is the blueprint upon which your reality is built. Change consciousness, and reality transforms. This hidden knowledge wasn't about invoking spirits or casting spells to control the world. It was about supreme alchemy, the transformation of oneself. It was about realizing one's own divine nature. For centuries, this knowledge was passed down in secret from master to disciple. But now, in our information age and global awakening, the veil is being lifted. Quantum physics, with the observer effect, is beginning to prove in the laboratory what mystics have always known. Consciousness affects matter. Reality is not fixed. It is a field of potentialities that responds to our observation and intention. The power to shape reality has always been in your hands. And now, for the first time, the practice for applying this forbidden knowledge is being openly revealed. It's no longer a secret kept in mystery schools. It's a tool you can use right now to begin dissolving the false reality that imprisons you and build a new one based on the truth of who you really are. It's the practical method to transform theory into lived experience. Understanding all of this with your mind is fascinating, but it doesn't set you free. It's like knowing the treasure map but never taking the first step. True transformation, the kind that truly breaks the chains, happens when theory becomes a direct experience, felt in every cell of your body. The ancient practice for making this transition is the conscious chanting of OM, but not as a mechanical and empty repetition. It's an active meditation, an intentional journey through the portals of your own consciousness. Sit in a quiet place with your spine straight so that energy can flow. Close your eyes. Instead of just emitting the sound, you will experience it. As you begin to chant the first part, the A, which sounds like ah, feel the vibration begin at the base of your body, in the abdominal region. Connect this vibration with the waking world, the physical world. Observe your body, the environment around you, but without identifying with it. See it as an experience that is happening, not as who you are. Then, gently transition to the second part, the U, which sounds like ooh. Feel the vibration rise to your chest and throat area. This is the portal to the subtle world, the realm of dreams, emotions, and thoughts. Observe the emotions that arise, the thoughts that pass through your mind, but don't cling to them. Let them pass like clouds in the sky. You are the sky, not the clouds. Witness the flow of your mind without being swept away by it. Finally, close your lips to create the third part, the resonant M, which sounds like Feel the vibration rise to your head, resonating throughout your skull. This vibration symbolizes the dissolution of the mind and ego, the plunge into deep sleep, into the silence of the source. Surrender to this vibration, completely releasing the need to think or to be someone. Let the sound dissolve you into the silence that follows. Each time you chant Om in this way, you are undertaking a micro-journey of detachment. You are teaching your nervous system at a deep level that you are not your body, you are not your mind, and you are not your ego. You are consciously undoing the knots of identification that have kept you trapped all your life. It is a practice of dying to the false self so that the true self can emerge. It is an energetic cleansing, realigning your vibration with that of your true nature. At first, your mind will resist. It will tell you that this is nonsense, that you're wasting your time. It will bombard you with thoughts and distractions. This is normal. It's the ego fighting to survive. Just observe this resistance without judgment and keep practicing. With repetition, something begins to change. Intellectual understanding begins to transform into a feeling, an inner certainty. And then one day, perhaps when you least expect it, a turning point happens. The dam breaks. The explosion of consciousness. You are what you seek. At this turning point, which can happen during practice or at any moment of your day, the last barrier dissolves. The subtle but persistent feeling that there is a separate self that is meditating, that is observing, that is trying to awaken, simply disappears. The duality between the observer and the observed collapses. The meditator, the meditation, and the sound of Om merge into a single, indivisible reality. There is no one else doing anything. There is only the self. This is the direct realization of the great truth whispered by the sages for millennia. The truth contained in the Mahavakyas, the great pronouncements of the Upanishads, Tat Tvam Asi, Thou art that, and Aham Brahmasmi, I am universal consciousness. Your individual consciousness, which you always thought to be limited and personal, recognizes itself as identical to universal consciousness, the source of all that exists. It is not that you unite with God, it is that you realize you were never separate. This realization is not a thought. It is an explosion of recognition that shakes your entire being. The veil of ignorance, the veil of Maya, which made you believe you were a small and vulnerable person in a vast and indifferent universe, is torn away. And what is revealed is your true nature as Sat Chit Ananda. Absolute existence, absolute consciousness, and absolute bliss. The search ends because the seeker discovers that he has always been what he was looking for. The relentless pursuit of happiness in the external world ceases instantly. How could you search for something that you are? Happiness is no longer a goal to be pursued in relationships, careers, or possessions. It is recognized as the very texture of your being. Peace is no longer a condition dependent on external circumstances. It is revealed as the silent foundation of your existence, always present beneath the noise of the mind and the world. Life goes on, bills still need to be paid, challenges still arise, but your perspective on all of this changes radically. You are no longer identified with the character in the movie of life. You are aware that you are the screen on which the movie is being projected. The paradox of being in the world, but not of the world, begins to make practical sense. You play the game of life, but inside you know you are free. You are no longer a prisoner. But what happens after this monumental discovery? Does life become a sea of tranquility forever? Do you float on a cloud of ecstasy and disconnect from humanity? The answer is no. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The real journey doesn't end here. It only begins. How does one live in the real world after having tasted ultimate reality? After this explosion of awareness, the journey doesn't end in a monastery on a mountaintop. It truly begins with the return to the marketplace, to your family, to your work. Returning to the waking world is not a fall or a failure. It's the golden opportunity to express the truth you've discovered in every action, word, and thought. Om ceases to be a formal practice you do for a few minutes and becomes your existential compass, the silent sound that vibrates deep within your being, constantly reminding you of who you are behind all appearances. The person who deciphered Thoth's message doesn't become a strange, ethereal being, incapable of functioning in society. On the contrary, they live with a depth, a presence, and a freedom that were previously unimaginable. Life's challenges don't magically disappear. Traffic still exists, people can still be difficult, bills still arrive. But their reaction to all of this changes completely. The suffering that comes from identification and resistance dissolves. You navigate the waves of life with the stability of an experienced surfer. There is a responsibility that comes with this knowledge. The responsibility of being a beacon of stability and clarity in a world that is immersed in confusion and fear. You don't need to preach or try to convert anyone. Your very presence, your calmness, and your authenticity become the teaching. The people around you will feel the difference in you, even if they can't explain why. Your peace becomes contagious. Very few people reach this point in their journey, and the reason isn't because the path is difficult or complicated. It's quite the opposite. It's because the human mind, addicted to complexity, problems, and drama, deeply distrusts a truth so radically simple. The mind cannot comprehend that freedom is not something to be conquered in the future, but something to be recognized in the present. It prefers to keep searching rather than finding. For those who have reached the end of this message, for those who have felt the resonance of truth in every part, the question, "And now what do I do?" begins to dissolve. When you are aligned with your true nature, the right action flows through you spontaneously, effortlessly. You no longer need an instruction manual for life. You are guided by an inner wisdom, an intuition that is clear, precise, and infallible. Thoth's message, finally deciphered, is not an endpoint. It is an invitation to continuous transformation. It is a call to live each breath, each heartbeat, as the very vibration of existence. It is realizing that the silent sound of Om, the creative pulse of the universe, is not something you chant, but something you are. You have not only understood the message, you have become the message. If you've made it this far, you're not the same person who started this video. The message found you for a reason. To let me know you've deciphered the code, leave the phrase, "I am the screen, not the film," in the comments. If you feel this content has transformed you and you want to help the channel grow and spread more messages like this, there's a way to contribute directly in the first pinned comment. Any help you can give is very important to me and the future of the channel. Allowing this knowledge to reach more people who are ready to awaken. But just by watching until the end, you already help immensely. Sharing this video with someone who needs to hear this is also a powerful form of support. And before you leave, the journey isn't over. I've prepared a special video to delve deeper into everything we've discovered here and give you the next practical step. Don't leave yet. Click on the video that's currently playing on the screen and let's meet there.